story that six months ago, 9 months ago, everybody was talking about, and it's kind of fallen off the news, but it shouldn't have fallen off the news. The reason it did is because DeSantis ultimately won in the feud against Disney. In fact, DeSantis recently said that Florida has basically moved on from the feud with Disney, and he is urging the Disney CEO to drop the lawsuit against them. The Disney is, of course, suing the state of Florida, saying that taking away their special self-governance rights in their special district is going to cost them money. But this is what NBC is reporting. Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday said Walt Disney Parks and Resorts should drop a federal lawsuit that claims retaliation by the state and accept changes to a special district that long benefited the theme park giant. In a CNBC interview focused on the economy, the Republican presidential candidate said the state has basically moved on from issues surrounding the changes to the former Reedy Creek Improvement District. Amid a feud between DeSantis and Disney, the legislature this year replaced the Reedy Creek District with a Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. The changes have led to state and federal lawsuits, with Disney alleging the changes are retaliation for its opposition to a 2022 law that restricts instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in Florida schools. DeSantis, however, said your competitors all do very well here. Universal, SeaWorld, they have not had the same special privileges as you do. So all we want to do is treat everybody the same and let's move forward. I'm totally fine with that, but I'm not fine with giving extraordinary privileges to one special company at the exclusion of everybody else. So what's interesting here is, of course, DeSantis is well within his right, the just authority of his position as chief executive of Florida, and in conjunction with a legislature to revoke special privileges, because that's exactly what the Reedy Creek District was. It was a special privilege given to a corporation that was benefiting the state. But when that corporation no longer benefited the state the same way, you certainly can take away this special privilege, because it wasn't just corporation status that everyone on an equal playing field has a right to. It was a special district. That's why it's called a special district. So the premise really of Disney's lawsuit against DeSantis and against Florida is that this is going to hurt their financial bottom line, and it was just retaliation, political retaliation. But what's interesting, if you look at the revenue numbers for Disney for the past 2 years since this feud began, since DeSantis and the Florida legislature withdrew this special status, the revenue numbers show that Disney's lying about their lawsuit. So in fiscal year 2022, Disney Parks recorded $28.7 billion in revenue. That's a 73% increase in revenue compared to fiscal year 2021. Now, of course, in fiscal year 2021, what happened? There were still lockdowns. There wasn't as much tourism. But it's a little hard for the Disney CEO to stand there and say, well, your political retaliation against me, which you and I know it's not political retaliation. It's simply objectively analyzing whether a special district is in the interest of Florida voters. And if Disney is queering children, I think that special status is not in the interest of Florida voters and citizens. But it's a little hard for the Disney CEO to make this argument that it's not financially beneficial or it's financially harmful for them to have this special status rescinded when they have a $28.7 billion in revenue. In fact, what he should do if he wants to sue a politician for harming his business financially is he should sue all of the liberal governors all over the country who locked people down, and he should sue the federal executive branch agencies that encouraged masking and social distancing and lockdowns that prevented tourists from coming to Florida to go to Disney and the theme parks, which is where Disney primarily makes their money. So all of this is to say, this story dropped out of the news when the mainstream media and the left realized that DeSantis had outmaneuvered Disney. And this is just another example of it. But the fact of the matter is, DeSantis did outmaneuver Disney.